Welcome everybody. Yeah, welcome everybody. So in the series Believe in the Possibilities, today we have with us the team Avishkar Hyperloop from Center for Innovation, IIT Madras. So they are going to share their experience of how they have participated in a competition conducted by SpaceX. That is by one of the noted, technical billionaire Elon Musk. So as the topic suggests, the road to Elon Musk's Hyperloop competition. So that's what they're going to share with us today. Today's moderator will be Dikshana of final year CSE. So we have with us two guests from the team. So one is Mr. Neil Balar and second one is Mr. Kishan Thakur. So today's agenda is I request Dikshana to introduce the guest. After that, they'll be giving us a small presentation. And after that, we'll be having a Q&A session. Then at the end, we will, as usual, come to the questions from the audience. And with that, we'll wind up. So the whole session is being recorded. So we will share the recording in our social media YouTube channel tomorrow. So thank you for joining us again. Now I give the stage to Tikshana for introducing the guest.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone, for joining this wonderful session that we are looking forward to. And I also would like to take this moment to thank my management and staff, especially Anand sir, for trusting me with this opportunity to mediate this enlightening session. On the other hand, I welcome our beloved guest from the team of Avishkar Hyperloop, Kishan Thakur and Neil Balar. Welcome, guys. For those who do not know who Avishkar Hyperloop is, Avishkar Hyperloop is a student team of IIT Madras. In September 2017, a team from IIT Madras began its journey as Team Avishkar Hyperloop, determined to set a benchmark through the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition. They are a dynamic team of 30 engineers, designers, and business leaders who have come together to demonstrate technical feasibility and viability in this concept and are spearheading the country's attempt at SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. They work together at IIT Madras Students Innovation Lab, Center for Innovation, with a common goal of making the best Hyperloop pod and helping humanity move one step closer to achieving an incredible new mode of transport. In the first attempt, they were propelled as one among the 47 teams selected globally to be qualified for the final design round. And in 2019, with a greater enthusiasm, they made an attempt and they have been shortlisted globally as one among the top 21 teams for the final round of competition to be held at SpaceX headquarters at Los Angeles, California in 2019.
Thank you for the introduction, Dikshana. I am Neil Bala and I am currently in my third year, and me and Kishan are the heads of Team Avishkar Hyperloop for this year. Yeah, Kishan.
Thank you, Diksha and Anand sir, for having us here today. I'll try to give you guys a brief of what Team Avishkar Hyperloop is and what exactly is the technology behind Hyperloop. So, as you all know, there are currently 4 modes of transportation. One is car, another is railway travel, third is airplane travel, and fourth is travel by sea. Now, Hyperloop is proposed to be the 5th mode of transportation. How can it be a 5th mode of transportation? So you can say that airplane travels in air, cars travel through road, ship travel is through sea, and trains travel on tracks. So Hyperloop is a 5th mode because the medium of transportation is vacuum. And we chose and vacuum is chosen to minimize drag as much as possible. To minimize drag even more, the Hyperloop pod is tried to levitate to prevent any contact on the ground. So it can be faster than aircrafts, reliable as railways, and cheaper, like a lot cheaper than aircraft. So here we have tried to describe why there is a need for Hyperloop in the current age. So we all know that there's a lot of traffic, like increase in passenger travel between major cities like Mumbai and Bangalore and Chennai, and like it's a lot to be handled between one airport each, and a lot of cargo shipments also happen across these cities. So here's a list of how each transportation medium compares according to time and cost. So if you want to travel from Chennai to Bangalore through bus, it can cost around 1200 rupees and can take up to 6 hours. Through train also it takes 6 hours, but it costs slightly higher, but it's slightly luxurious than bus. For flight, it can take a lot more than train, going up to 2500 rupees, and traveling time is around like total travel time is around 3 hours or more. And Hyperloop we are trying to achieve to get the travel time to less than 30 minutes and have transportation cost in the range of flight travel, like, or even less, 1500 to 2500 rupees. So what is SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition? So it is a competition organized by SpaceX. SpaceX is a company handled by Elon Musk. If he's one of the tech enthusiasts in aerospace in the world right now, uh, many of you might know him. So he has organized Hyperloop competition since January 2017, and we were one of the first Indian teams to go to Hawthorne, California, to attend the final round in July 2019. The competition consists of 3 rounds. It's a preliminary design round where more than 1500 teams participate each year. From that, 50 teams are shortlisted, where we have to provide a brief PowerPoint presentation to the SpaceX guys, where they judge us on the amount of tech and amount of knowledge we have. So in 2018, also we participated and we were among the 52 teams, but we couldn't reach the final round. In 2019, we cleared the second round. We gave a bunch of interviews and we were among the top 20 teams that went to Hawthorne, California to test our pod in front of Elon Musk. So this is our team. Last year we were around 41 students, and every one of us is from different background. I'm from metallurgy. Neil is from engineering design department. There are people from civil, like all different branches. People are come together and we work voluntarily and spend whatever amount of time we have on this project. And there are people from different backgrounds like BTech, MTech, and MS people also. And like not like some people are specified to their branches. Anyone can work in whatever uh, technology they are interested in. Like when I joined Avishkar Hyperloop, I was working in power systems. I was working in batteries while having a background of material science. Then I later also worked on linear induction motors. So it's a team where people can work on whatever they like, which gives people more enthusiasm and motivation to achieve the best. So Neil will carry on from now.
Yeah. So this is our team structure. So we have team leads, and then we have group leads who will take care of like 2 subsystems each, and these are the 8 different sub modules we have, and the sub modules are, as you can see, braking. So braking is the sub module which will take care of braking, as a name indicates. And then business, the business team takes care of all the non-tech part, as in marketing, sponsorship, and financial, they're taking care of all the finance stuff. And controls is a team which works on making the communication between the different subsystems possible. So it's the one which controls all the subsystems, let's say, like uh, propelling the pod, breaking the pod, increasing the speed, all, like everything is under the control subsystem. And levitation and lim, these are the subsystems which we were researching from 2018 itself. And levitation, as the name suggests, yeah, uh, the as in the pod won't be in contact with the track. And linear induction motors, linear induction motors, uh, and yeah, these two are the linear induction motors are used for propelling the pod. So we are still researching on that, on them. And we also have the prototype ready, so we'll soon be using that in our next pod. And power systems is the subsystem which takes care of all the battery requirements and power requirements. Stability, stability is about taking is to dampen the oscillations in the vertical or horizontal direction, so as in the pitch or yaw stability. And structures is the subsystem which takes care of all the chassis part, to build the chassis on which we mount all our different components. Yeah, Kishan. So yeah, we also have faculty advisors who constantly keep supporting us. So let's say we have a new design, we just present that to them, and then they'll give their views on that. So our faculty advisors are Dr. Satya Chakravarti and Dr. Murugandam TM from IIT Madras. And we also have business advisors, who help us in suggesting what can be our future plans, and help us in getting sponsorship. So our business advisors are Mr. Ravi Santanam sir and Sesham Ramohan sir. Yeah. So yeah, this was the pod design, which we took to the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. So this was our pod design. So as you can see, there are different subsystems here. So first we have chassis. Chassis is that black color thing on which everything else is mounted. And for the propulsion, in our first year, we had electric motors for propulsion with the wheels. So those four things, like at the front and the back, after the springs, are the motors. And then we have power systems. Power system is basically the battery and battery management system, which will give us the inputs of battery, like as in the current, current that is being passed, and voltage and temperature of the each cell. And then we have control subsystem, which is basically a set of RPIs, Arduinos, and many different electrical components which we use to control each subsystem, each part. And then we have braking. So in our first year, we used pneumatic braking. So pneumatic braking is basically, we used air pressure to brake the pod. So whenever we need to brake the pod, as you can see the cylinder over the cylinder kind of thing, it releases the air, and the air reach when the air reaches the actuators brake. Yeah. And then we have stability. um, Stability, so stability is nothing but the springs part, and there are dampers between the springs. So when there's any oscillation in vertical direction, it takes care of that. It tries to prevent the oscillations. And there's also yaw stability, which is on the inner side. That's not visible here, but yeah. So that takes care of horizontal stability, so that the pod doesn't move to the left or to the right. And the eye shape thing was the eye rail which is used. And this was the actual prototype which we built for the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. And this photo is from our pod unveil event, which was held on June 14th last year, 2019, before we left to SpaceX for the Hyperloop Pod competition. So this was the actual prototype we built, and it's quite similar to the design we made. So yeah, that's about this. And the shell on the top, is the shell which will be on the top of the pod. It's like aerodynamics to decrease the drag, if there's any. So, and the logos on the shell indicate sponsors. So and this is as we said, there were 21 finalists in the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. And as you can see, these are the each point indicates different teams from each location, from locations, different locations. So ours was the only team from Asia. And yeah, that's about it. And this is the design we made after coming here. And this is the design we made this year, like as in the last year, 2019 and 2020 academic year. So this was a pod design which we designed. It's quite much smaller than our previous design. And this was designed for just 300 meters track, and while the previous one was designed for 1 kilometer track. So the pod specifications of this one are, is just 35 kgs, 35 kg heavy, and pod dimensions are 70 centimeters, like length is 70 centimeters. And as you can see, again, here we have different subsystems. And for the propulsion, here we used electrodynamic wheels. So electrodynamic wheels are nothing but the wheels, normal wheels with magnets, with an array of permanent magnets on its rim, so that because of that magnets, when the magnets spin, um, they generate magnetic field, and they induce eddy currents in the on the track, like aluminum, conducting a non-magnetic track. So our track is aluminum track. So because of when the wheels rotate, they generate a magnetic field and they induce eddy currents in the track, because of which the propelling and propulsion and lift forces are generated, thrust and lift forces. So this was the design we made. And we used 8 electrodynamic wheels to get the required thrust. And we're also getting the lift of 2 mm. So this was basically a kind of levitation, which is also used for propulsion. And these are the other subsystems. And as you can see, and the shell for this design, we were inspired by the Tesla truck, which recently came into the market. So the aerodynamic shell was inspired from that Cybertruck, Tesla Cybertruck. Yeah, that's about it. And yeah, these are some photos from the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. And as you can see, with us with the flag, we were the only Asian team, actually, not only Indian, Asian team at the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. And it was a great experience. And we also learned a lot of things. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, like we received a lot of media outreach from different news channels, different article publishing sites. So these are some of the sites or channels where we receive, where articles about the team Avishkar Hyperloop were published. So yeah. um, and yeah, these are our sponsors. So our title sponsor for the year 2018-19, who sponsored for in the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019, was Tubes Investment in India, TL. And these are our other sponsors. We are like very grateful to them for sponsoring us and believing in us. Yeah. And yeah, so as Elon Musk says, I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. So that's how all of us came together and started working on this journey. Yeah. This was just a small presentation from our side. And now we'd like to show you some two videos which describe our journey to the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. And yeah, those two videos basically contain like how, like, our workspace and how we used to work, and then some photos from the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019. So I request Mr. Anand to present the video. So as you can see, this was a small track we built to test our prototype. So this was the final pod run which we tested on a small track, 30 meters track. So this was just to test if everything was going right and if it was working properly. Yes, so this video was basically about how we worked, and the last part was our pod run which we tested in front of our Center for Innovation organization where we work, and we're part of that. We are a team in that organization. So it was a small 30 meters track where we tested if our prototype was working properly and if everything was right. And yeah, that was just for testing. And sir, you can also present the second video. So this was our stall at the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition 2019 on the last day, where we presented our pod to all the teams and like every all the visitors. So similarly, these are the stalls of the other teams.
Competition. Please give a warm welcome to Elon Musk and Steve Davis.
So we're very excited to announce that there's a new world record for the Hyperloop competition.
So this is the team which has been winning the competition from the past 4 years. This is the team from Germany.
Interesting question. Yes. Sure. Yes. Mars is pretty far. The moon, you get there in 2 or 3 days. Mars is 3 months if you're going fast. So more like 6 months normally. So I think it'd be more like stopping at the Starbucks in your city before beginning an intercontinental journey. But you could stop at the moon. I would recommend it. I'd say just go, all the way. But I think you can go to the moon and Mars. They're not mutually exclusive. Yeah. Humanity must become a spacefaring civilization. Occupy Mars!
Yeah. So this was the video describing our journey to SpaceX, and yeah, like you can also see these videos again on our YouTube channel, like Avishkar Hyperloop. Yeah, that's it, I guess.
Thank you, Neil. So, so you,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. So all of us are really proud that you have the Indian flag in that competition among all the other teams. So thank you very much. So now let us move to the question answer session. Yeah, Deekshana, please take over.
Okay, sir. So, shall I start?
Yes, yes.
Okay, my very first question to you is, what is the story behind Avishkar Hyperloop? Your origin story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our head, our former head, Mr. Shuyash. So he was actually, after joining IITM for MTech, he was talking to his friend from MIT on phone, and then they were just talking about some stuff, and then the MIT guy said that he had recently joined a team called MIT Hyperloop, and they were going to participate in SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition. And then after the call, even our former head Suyash, he started thinking about, why can't we do something like that? Why can't IITM participate in that competition? So afterwards, like he met some 3 to 4 people, and then he spoke to them about this idea and like participating in the competition. And even they were interested and they were like-minded, and then even they wanted to participate in the competition. And on some evening, they just sat, all of them, sat in a room and then started discussing about this. And then they presented this to our director, IIT Madras' director, Dr. Bhaskar Ramurthy sir, and he also agreed. So that's how, it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, why is the team named Avishkar Hyperloop? So, any story behind the name?
Yes, there actually is a story behind the name. So when our senior teammates who had graduated, when they were first discussing about the team name, so they thought that like most of the teams in IIT's name start with A, like Anveshak, Abhiyan. So we also thought that we would start the team name with A, and we wanted a Hindi name so that we can represent our country outside India. So when someone brought up Avishkar, everyone thought that this is a complete fit to our team as it represents our passion for innovation and to bring change for the future.
Yeah. So I would like to add one thing. So Avishkar, basically in Hindi it means invention. So yeah, that's why we use this word, as this was completely new thing and we want to do some innovation on this technology. So Avishkar Hyperloop.
Okay. Um, so, let's move to next.
Yeah.
What is the power source for a Hyperloop to run? So, does it run on renewable energy, or and a few words you would like to say on power consumption?
Okay, yeah. So yes, the Hyperloop runs on renewable energy. So there'll be solar panels and wind turbines laid across the track, around the track, which will later charge the battery packs or which will be inside the pod. Those battery packs might contain lithium ion or superconductors, depending on the need of the power. So yeah, actually all the power required for running the Hyperloop will be generated near the track. Now, regarding the power, I can actually comment about the energy required for a Hyperloop. So this will get a little technical, so bear with me. We have learned in school that energy required is half mv square. So if a Hyperloop pod is around 50 tons and the speed required is 1000 meter per second, so total energy required is 6500 kilowatt hour. That's units in that we use at our home. And that much energy will be consumed in the first 50 to 100 kilometers of the track. After that, the pod will be in a drift mode where no propulsion will be needed. Uh, Now, this actually is a lot less energy required than airplanes, because airplanes run on combustion engines that have efficiency of around 40%, while Hyperloop runs on electromagnetic motors which have efficiencies of over 95%. And planes also require energy to lift them up to 10-kilometer height. So accordingly, the energy required for Hyperloop, one Hyperloop run will be less than one-fourth of energy required for a plane travel.
Okay, great. Okay. Um, so shall we move to next?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the current status of Hyperloop technology? So, and how long do we get to ride one?
Okay. So the current status is that there are some companies which are trying to commercialize it. So there's a company called Virgin Hyperloop One, and there's also a company called Hyperloop Transportation Technologies. So these are the two main companies which are trying to commercialize it, and they're doing some feasibility check of the routes between different cities. So let's say between Las Vegas and Los Angeles and San Francisco, Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and many different routes. And currently, the status is that they're also designing the prototype. And actually, there was an agreement signed between the UAE government and Hyperloop Transportation Technologies that they were going to test a human in an actual pod to see that if everything is right. But because in 2020, but because of this coronavirus, this pandemic, it has been delayed. So yeah, I guess probably by 2025 there'll already be some hyperloops in like all over the world. But by 2020 2030, we can assure that will also have one in India. So actually there was a agreement signed between Virgin Hyperloop 1 and Maharashtra government for the road between Mumbai Pune road. So they did some feasibility check and it was actually feasible. But again, so Maharashtra government was a bit skeptical about this. So they were like, only after you already make this possible somewhere else, like if only after the proof of concept, only after we have a proof that it's working, we'll give you the permission again. So it's currently on hold, but yeah, that's the status. Yeah.
Okay. Mm. So, what are the activities of Team Avishkar Hyperloop on a technical day at the Innovation Lab at IIT Madras?
Okay. So usually we have classes and labs up to 5 p.m. in the evening, and then some of us have some sports. We are also in some sports teams and other projects, like we are working under professors, and so we that usually goes on up to 8 or 8 p.m. And then after that we have a dinner, and then we usually start working at 9 p.m. And this is completely voluntary, like we aren't getting any credits for this, as in you know this not instead of any course, like we'll have to do our coursework and academics, that's completely separate from this. This is something which we took up voluntarily and we are working on it. So we usually meet up after the dinner, like after in the at 9 p.m. in the night, somewhere close to that, and then we have some meetings regarding what have we done till now and how should we proceed, and there's some brainstorming sessions. So also it also depends on like what we do on a particular day, also depends on where it falls. So like before the design round, so we usually discuss what all technologies we can use, what all we can implement, and so we have brainstorming sessions on that, so that all of us can throw our ideas out and then discuss regarding each idea. And then after the designing period is complete, we try optimizing the design and testing the components, like doing some experiments. And after that, like and then we have the manufacturing procurement phase, where we procure different components from different places, like India and abroad. Some components which we don't find in India, we procure them from abroad. So and then we also get some components manufactured, customized, some customized components manufactured. So yeah, after that there's assembly. So this is our usual work. Like it depends on activities, depends on at when are we working on it. And also uh, on the weekends, so usually this is during the week till Friday, Monday to Friday. On the weekends we also meet in the afternoon and try to do some physical work, like getting something manufactured. Let's say we have to buy some electrical components, so we go to Paris corner or Ekkatangal, something like that. Yeah, so that's our daily routine, man. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So let's move to
Okay.
next question. Um, what is Avishkar Hyperloop's drive or inspiration in revolutionizing the transportation industry?
Okay.
So I'll try to answer.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so our drive is basically our, like as Neil told, we are voluntarily working on this. So that actually gives us more encouragement that we try to innovate and iterate new designs for Hyperloop as quickly as possible, because we don't have much time except college. And the more time we spend on Hyperloop, the more excited and like motivated we get for the design, right, for the technology.
And also yeah, like our motivation is also revolutionizing the industry, because right now, as we can see, the traffic has been increasing, like in all the cities like Bangalore, Chennai. Bangalore has a worst traffic scenario right now. So like, and there's also pollution has also been increasing everywhere. So as this Hyperloop is much faster, and there's no problem. There's nothing like traffic here, and it's also weatherproof, right? So you know, whether or not it rains outside, well, it's completely weatherproof. So these are some advantages, and that's why we're planning, and it's also completely sustainable. Like it's environment friendly, and there's like very less or approximately zero carbon footprint. So yeah, that's why we're planning to work on this so that we can have a fruitful future.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Okay. So during this journey, you would have gone through many hardships, some failures. So how did you overcome
Okay.
that?
Okay. So yeah, there are actually many hardships or failures we went through during the journey. So I would like to tell you some scenarios regarding that. So there was a situation when we cleared the second round, as in we're already in the finals of SpaceX Hyperloop Pod Competition. But we didn't have any money to work on with, like to procure the components or manufacture the thing. So that was a bit tough phase because we had already cleared and we were already in the finals, but any we didn't have money to start working on a prototype or building the prototype. So that's when all of us got together, like from all the subsystems, all different submodules, all of us started working on the sponsorship part. And that's when we contacted many companies, alumni, and many other people for the sponsorship. And that was really a tough time because we were wasting a lot of time on that, because as we didn't have any money, we couldn't even work on prototyping the pod.
Yeah.
And so that's but then we fortunately we started getting a lot of funding from different industries or IITM alumni. And also we had also hosted a crowdfunding campaign on Keto, where general public also supported us. So that's how we got money. But then it had already been late, and then we also had some components to procure from abroad, as I said before.
Mm.
So there were some components like battery pack or battery cells, and motor controllers, motors, which we had to procure from abroad. So there was a lot of delay by the time we received them, and there was very less time for us to work on them, because as we are from India, we had to ship our pod 1 month before the competition, because it actually takes a lot of time because of so many restrictions and different things. So we actually had a lot less time than any other teams would have had, like the teams from the US or the Europe, because we are from India and it's quite far from here, so we had to ship it 1 month earlier. And also, as I said, there was a lot of delay in procurement of components. And there's also a scenario where we received the battery cells like after a month, like after a month delay, and the dimensions of the cells was not proper. It wasn't correct. But then we had already designed the casing for the cells and all earlier according to the dimensions which we had ordered.
Mm.
So because of that,
Yeah, I'd like to
so
summarize
yeah.
to that is that like whenever there were hardships to
Hello,
the team,
Kishan. I
the
think your mic is on mute.
I can hear Kishan.
I'll continue.
Okay.
Like I was saying that whenever there was hardship on the team, the whole team used to come together to work, focusing on that problem only. Like Neil said, when we needed sponsorship, all the people from the team worked on that area. When the cells arrived late, many different people started working on power systems, because at that time that was our main focus, to just pass this obstacle and then go to the next obstacle, and then just continue on clearing all obstacles as they come.
Yeah.
The team.
Okay. Let's move to um. So, are there any environmental impacts caused by Hyperloop systems? So, how good is it in terms of footprint?
Kishan, would you like to answer this, or
Yeah, there aren't any environmental impacts while running Hyperloop. As I said, it works on renewable energy, so there aren't any. There's zero carbon footprint while running the Hyperloop, but there will always be some environmental impact. In the sense that I mean is that while setting up the Hyperloop track, a lot of the materials like solar panels, concrete, the whole track structure, the pod itself, while making that the aluminum and all that will come from different factories that will account for some carbon footprint. So indirectly, Hyperloop will have some environmental impacts, but compared to plane travel and cars, the running carbon footprint is zero.
So the footprint is usually, in the construction phase of the tube and the other requirements. But after all this is been constructed, there's no environmental impact for the running of the Hyperloop. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So next one is, so will claustrophobia be a deciding factor in advancement of Hyperloop? So what are the other risk factors and safety concerns that Hyperloop system is currently facing?
Okay. So I don't think that claustrophobia will be a deciding factor, because traveling in a hyperloop is going to be quite similar to traveling in an airplane or a train, because initially they'll just be like you only doing the acceleration and deceleration. The g force will be slightly higher than normally in the plane or trains, which is like for hyperloop it's gonna be approximately 0.5 g or less than that. So but whereas in some roller coasters it's 2 to 3 g. So that's not much actually, only, but that will be the acceleration and deceleration will be only for like some amount of time, and then afterwards it'll just be at constant velocity. So it'll be like traveling a plane, traveling in a flight or a train. And so if there's some people who feel claustrophobic in the flights, they might have the same feeling here as well. But there are also some advantages, as there won't be any turbulence here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no fear of accidents or something, because like crashing, like plane crashing, as we hear sometimes, we get scared because of that. But there won't be any problems like that over here. And the only safety concern that the hyperloop is facing right now is that the building the pod and it's working is quite possible. Like it's been proven, and it's very easy. Easy as in it's quite possible. But the main concern is that building that track as in the tube for kilometers long, hundreds of kilometers long, and maintaining the pressure at like very low pressure, like 1/1000th of the atmospheric pressure, or almost vacuum, like almost a vacuum. That's the only concern as of now, because building the tube, such long tubes, and maintaining the vacuum is not that easy. So other than that, I don't think claustrophobic will be a deciding factor, because it's quite similar to, again, traveling in a flight or a train.
I'd like to add to that, in that like the Hyperloop will be more safer than airplane in a way that there will be emergency output points in the.
Yes, yeah.
So there'll be like every 10 kilometers there'll be openings for safety emergency openings. So whenever there's an earthquake situation or like a severe weather or any power outage kind of situation, the pod can be brought to stop and the tube can be pressurized and people can be like taken out from nearest exit. That cannot be done in a plane. Like you can't just
Right.
land people in midway.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, so let me move to the next question. So, as you said, about G forces. So, how are the G forces that act on the passengers are damped? So, are we damping it?
We are not damping any forces. Like as Neil told, the G forces acting are less around 0.5 G, and that too for a small area of the small length of the track. So compared to that, a car can like while traveling in a car, some people can experience up to 1.5 G while turning like at high speeds. F1 cars can go up to 4G of force on turns. So compared to that, Hyperloop traveling at 0.5 G is a lot less, and people have all easily experienced a lot of G on their day-to-day life.
And also I would like to add something. So regarding this, also the as there's a prototype already, small prototype of Hyperloop ready in the Abu Dhabi. So in that, in that prototype they have actually built seats such that a human is like quite comfortable, and there'll be all the safety concerns will be taken care of. So there won't be any such problem because of G forces or anything.
Okay. So the next question is, so how affordable is a ticket in Hyperloop train for the public masses, especially in India? So what are the commercial aspects involved in here?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So like as we displayed in the presentation, like there was a slide regarding where we where we compared different transportation modes and their cost and time of travel. So from that, you can say that the cost of the Hyperloop ticket will be somewhere between the trains or and the flights. It won't be more than that of flights, most probably. And the reason being, Hyperloop is like, we have also done a small case study on this. So like actually, like, Hyperloop requires a large amount of initial investment, but whereas while running it, or while it's already while everything is already ready, while the running cost is too low, I mean the maintenance cost and the running cost when compared to the flights and other transportation modes, it's much lesser. So only the initial investment is high. So there'll be the return on, and we can expect the return on investment in around 13 to 15 years. That too, if the cost is close to the cost of ticket in a train. So like it'll be somewhere in between. Most probably it'll be similar to the cost in planes. So yeah, there won't be much of a difference. And one more advantage is that for planes, if you travel by airplane, you'll have to go to the airport an hour earlier, and then and you'll have to, after leaving, there'll be a lot of checks. But whereas in Hyperloop, it's kind of gonna be like a metro station where there'll be Hyperloop pods coming in frequently, so we won't have any such problem here. So that's one more advantage. Yeah.
Okay. So the above questions I'm going to ask is from audience. So the
Okay.
first question they have asked is, so what keeps your team always energetic?
Okay. So yeah, I would like to give my opinion on this, and then maybe Kishan wants to give his opinion. So, uh, like, so yeah, energetic as in, there are sometimes when we feel that we are fed up of this, and sometimes, but our head, in the year, like our former head, he kept on motivating us. So we all like we don't always work, like we not only work, we also have some sessions where we just meet people, like we go to some, maybe for some treats or restaurants, so where we play some games and have some team building activities. So like whenever we feel like that, we just maybe take some break, and then again start working on it. But like as of now, we have never felt such a long break, because all of us are very motivated towards making this, and as the deadlines are very near and close, we can't waste much time. So yeah, I guess that's about it.
Okay.
Kishan, would you like to
Like
add anything?
yeah, so as Neil told, we try to keep the workspace as friendly as possible. We play at music at sometimes, and we openly chat with each other so that people aren't bored with the design process and all. And yeah, it's a very friendly atmosphere. Everyone knows each other very well, and we like to be and work with each other. That's the thing.
Okay. So the next question. So if Hyperloop pod is running in vacuum, why does the pod have to be aerodynamic in design, as there'll be no air resistance opposing the pod, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to answer that. So like the tube is in near vacuum condition. So the pressure inside will be 1/10 of the normal atmosphere around us. So there is some air inside that we have to keep that. Otherwise, the running costs will become too high. Like vacuuming the air out will take a lot of energy. So we try to keep an optimal pressure that is very less. So to avoid even the slightest drag, we keep it an aerodynamic design, but it's not
Yes.
too aerodynamic, not required.
Okay. So what is the expected capacity in one pod? So how many members can it carry? How many passengers?
So the expected capacity, as proposed by the companies which are already working on this, is somewhere close to 30 to 50 members per pod. And there are some the Hyperloop. So we have also tried working on it, and so it's somewhere between 30 to 50. And Virgin Hyperloop One has also said that it's trying to build a pod with 44 members in it, like with a capacity of 44 members. So yeah, somewhere between 30 to 50 is the number. There's no fixed number. Yeah.
Okay. So one final question. Um, so the Hyperloop competition that IIT Madras was planning to conduct. So any further updates on that? Do you have any further updates?
Okay. So like as of now, we don't have any updates. It's completely on hold because we don't know when this pandemic or the situation is going to end. So only until we receive any until the situation is completely fine and until we get back to colleges, uh, uh, it's on hold right now. Yeah. So
Okay.
until then, it'll be on hold.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to organize it in this January, but because of COVID-19, we are trying to delay it. Maybe it might be possible for summer 2020.
Yeah,
But
Okay.
like that might be a tentative date. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So thank you guys for answering all the questions. So I hope that everyone would have learned something about this. So over to Anand sir.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us, and the questions, the choice of question selection was really good, and all the questions were really good. We had a great time,
yeah,
answering these
thank,
questions. Yeah. Thank
thank
you.
you for having us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Neil, thank you, Kishan, and
Thank you,
behalf
sir.
behalf of Rajalakshmi Institutions, we wish you best of luck. So soon we want to hear the news that you have won the Hyperloop competition. So we are all
Sure, sir.
looking forward to that day. And so thank you everyone. So I am giving the feedback form in the chat now. And before we go with that, so usually if the session had happened at our college, we would end the session with a group photo actually. So all of us will come together and we'll have a group photo. So one of my we got a suggestion that why not have a group photo here. So we have with us now some 100 close to 100 people. So those who are able to switch on your camera, I request you to please switch on the camera so that I'll take a screenshot. So I will be sending you your e-certificates and the recording of this session. Along with that, I will also send this in case if you're interested to post in your social media, something like that. So it's a humble request. It's not mandatory, but we would request that those who are kept possible, please switch on your video so that we can have a like a group photo, something of that kind. So I see Ashok sir switched it on. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Karthik sir. So don't worry, sir, because the more people switch on, the lesser the size of the image will become. So even if your face is not very, super relative, parallel. definitely it's not going to be visible, and the thumbnail becomes smaller and smaller, and more people switch it on. Yes. So we have a combination of students as well as faculty members, everybody here.
We are actually grateful to all of you for attending this session and listening to us like for almost approximately 1 hour.
Yeah.
And
actually, actually there was a test actually, for the online test for the students. So they conducted the test and then they joined this session.
Oh, that's really great. Thank you.
So, sir, Vijay sir, I think you can take some snapshot. Yeah. Please confirm us. If you're taking, then we will. So today we had around close to 100 participants today. So thank you very much. I think many of them are there refreshing. So they have gone to refresh the classes. Yeah, so I have taken a snapshot.
Sir, again, thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And
I'd like to say something to everyone, like please keep a tab on the IHPC competition that we are going to organize. It's basically trying to motivate all Indian students to make their own pod. Not everyone will be able to go to USA, but that shouldn't stop people from trying to make their own pod.
Yes.
So everyone can participate in that when it happens.
Yeah, that's the main reason behind starting this new competition. Like, so we want the whole people from all over the India come together and work on this technology and make this possible. And we hope that soon we'll have an Hyperloop in India.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us, sir, again. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.